Hi, my name is Melanie Wienhoven. It took me over 6 years to make a full recovery from a so-called mild traumatic brain injury. While biking home from work one day, my headlamp broke off and got tangled in the spokes of my bike. As I crashed into the pavement and landed on my hands and my knees, there was no blow to the head and I didn't lose consciousness. At the hospital, I was diagnosed with a mild concussion, which, if you translate it to the current categorization of traumatic brain injuries, would be the mildest of the mild traumatic brain injuries. However, it became apparent very soon that the symptoms that I experienced made life as I had lived it before impossible. Let me share my screen for a moment because I'd like to show you something. So this is what a mild traumatic brain injury often looks like. These pictures were taken in the same season and they are both me. But the image is completely different. That's because a mild traumatic brain injury often looks very different if you look at it from behind closed doors and just from the outside. Because what you can see in the right picture is that I look quite happy and healthy, but it's the same me suffering from a concussion as the one resting on the couch. In the process, I was being referred back and forth between my general practitioner and neurologists. One neurologist told me that there was nothing wrong with me. Another neurologist told me that I manifested the symptoms with my mind. Yet another told me that I had to learn to live with the symptoms and accept the consequences in my life. I felt like I overstepped by seeking care over time, like I was a nuisance and I made doctors uncomfortable. I can safely say that the doctors I visited over time took hope for recovery away, and I fell into depression. Concussions are often misunderstood, misattributed, and untreated. The chronic effects of a so-called mild traumatic brain injury remain poorly known to most doctors. I know for a fact that worldwide patients to this day, not all patients, but many patients, I don't know how many exactly in the grand scheme of things, but many patients are helped just as poorly as I was. And while hope for recovery slips away, they are left to fend for themselves. However, if we know something now, it is that there is hope for recovery and that positive empowerment for active recovery is key. A new traumatic brain injury classification system must correct the notion that 1, we can predict how a brain injury will turn out, whatever it looks like on day 1. The new classification system should leave room for the unknown, because the brain is an amazing organ and is capable of so much more than we humans, including doctors, are able to understand to this day. Specifically, 2, for mild traumatic brain injuries, that these injuries can only cause mild symptoms and have only mild effects on the lives of patients and their caregivers. I was categorized as mild, and it worked against me. That's because the label evokes a very passive, detrimental attitude in both care providers and patients. Whatever the reasons to continue with the current system, it is harming rather than healing and helping patients. It is my belief that that is not what any of you ever intend to do. So, if nothing else, let's be open to explore new ways together today, strengthened by new research findings and the lived experiences presented to you today. I'd like to share my screen one more time because I am present today virtually, and I'd like to invite you, if you have any questions or would like to discuss, to send me an email at melanie@liviana.com. Thank you for listening.